Ladies and gentlemen, Golfweek Amateur Tour proudly presents Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast, talking about all things Golfweek Amateur Tour, including interviews with tour directors, players, and course professionals. Now here are your hosts, Tim Newman and El Paso Las Cruces Tour Director, Chris Rocha.
Chris, welcome back. I hear you had your little Ryder Cup thing going on last weekend.
I don't know about little. 64 players total.
Wow. 64 players, really. That's awesome. How'd it go?
It's
Obviously, you've got something on your shoulder there, but I mean, how did it go?
It was amazing. It was cold. It was a battle to probably the last 6 matches out there in singles match. I'm pretty sure we'll go into detail eventually in this episode, but it was a great time, and it's good to have her back. She's where she belongs. It's a nice 5-3 record for Team El Paso Las Cruces.
Let's see here.
And they're
a winning record. At a winning record.
And I know there's other tours that have thought about challenging us, but I don't know if they really want to, because the team we had this weekend came out to play. It was great.
Just remember something. We're in the Christmas spirit now, so we don't want to be throwing.
Oh yeah, I'm giving out the challenge.
Oh gosh, here we go. Well, if we're talking about giving out the challenge, I want to share something with everybody. Let's see here.
Uh-oh. You're going to ruin my parade right here?
No. I like that.
Jesus.
Is that a good one? You like that one?
It doesn't even look anything like me.
Oh, no, it doesn't look anything like you at all. Nothing. Nothing. How about, let's see here.
You're really going to ruin my parade right now.
No, this is...
Okay, that looks kind of like me.
All right, I got one more, and I'll let you choose which one we're going to use.
Neither, because this is supposed to... No, the other one looked better.
That's actually you.
I know, the other one looked better.
All right, so we'll use the other one.
That one looks too much photoshopped.
That was a quick. Yeah, I literally just did that like 10 minutes ago. But you want to use the second one?
Sure. But why does it have to be on this episode? I'm very happy.
Well, because it's. I mean, you're getting ready to start your 12 days of Christmas, right? I mean,
right.
And by the time the next episode, Christmas is over, so we have a very short time frame to use this, and get the most mileage out of it.
I guess. I was gonna show this episode to everybody in Arizona, but now I'm gonna have to hold back because.
Well, we can't cut it out, but just tell them that there's technical difficulties. Tell them to just fast forward. But yeah, well, let's talk about Ryder Cup. After our guests, we've got two really good guests, like always. This is the time of year as we start getting new tour directors that we start introducing them and hearing their stories and welcoming them to the team. So we got a couple good ones.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's like I said before, it's always nice to meet the new directors, but be able to put them out there and let their people around their area know who they actually are. Mm-hmm. Makes it a lot easier when you're a new member having to meet somebody who's essentially running the tournament that you're trying to play in. Makes it a whole lot easier when you already know a little bit about them.
Yeah, and our first guest, I mean, he's been in the golf business for a while, and I'll let him tell his story. But so let's just go ahead and bring him in and welcome Evan Silkworth, the upstate New York tour director. Evan, welcome to the team.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Chris, great having you, have me on the show. Appreciate it to jump in and say hi to everybody.
Well, we talked a little bit before we got started here. You were living in Florida for a little while, and you decided to go back to New York, and I get it, but
it might be a little crazy
up there.
Yeah, it's a questionable choice. Golf in the Northeast is like a 6-month sport, so I'm just like, hey, I love golf. I'm a golf pro. I'm gonna, not work for 6 months. But yeah, we were in Florida. I was at PGA Golf Club in South Florida, which is a property owned by PGA of America, and I mean I had so many terrific experiences there, and we actually went down there after I was a teacher in New York City. I taught 8th grade English in Brooklyn for 8 years, and I kind of like accidentally started becoming a golf pro. I'd played college golf and I was pretty good, and basically my Friday afternoon commute when I was in the city was a disaster. So I found out I could actually get home sooner if I went to the golf course for about 2.5 hours on Friday afternoons. So sometimes I'd play 9 holes, sometimes I'd just hit balls or whatever and hang out and have a beer and enjoy just being around the golf course and other golfers. And I was practicing chipping, and I was hitting this cool like little low spinny wedge shot into the practice green, and this guy was like, how are you doing that? And I showed him how to set up for it, and we practiced it a little bit, and just gave him a couple like real quick pointers. And he's like, oh man, this is awesome, can I buy you a beer? And I'm like, yeah, you can buy me a beer. This sounds like a great golf tips for beer. Like, how does this get better, right?
Exactly.
And one thing led to another, and I saw the same guy. His name was Andre, great dude. And I just ended up giving him a bunch of tips, and eventually he was like, kind of like pay you for a lesson. And I was like, I don't know, I'm an amateur, I'm not really a pro, I'm not really doing things, I don't want to step on toes here at the course. And one thing led to another, and he kind of just was like, no, seriously, you should do this. Like, you've helped me a lot, just trading tips for beer.
Tips for beers.
And I talked to the pro that was there, and he was absolutely looking for some help. And I was like, listen, it's a part-time thing. I teach English. Like, I'm just here on Fridays. You can come in on a Saturday and help out or whatever. Cause I was like, 22. And, before you know it, I had a full lesson book, and I looked at what my day was like teaching, and was like, I like teaching golf way more than I like teaching English. And I went out on that, and I was, left my teaching gig and opened my own instruction business down in the city. And I gave 40 to 50 hours of lessons a week, just grinding on the lesson tee. And I was just stacked up one after another, boom, boom, boom. And I was like, I need to get trained in this. I was like, I need to become a better professional. And, a couple guys that I respected in that area were like, no, you got to get in the PGA apprentice program and go through that accreditation process. And that's what I did. And, my wife and I were sick of living in the city at that point. So we were like, let's go give Florida a try. So we moved down to Florida, and I, literally just cold called. And they're like, well, we don't have a spot for you right now, but, we'll bring you, you're obviously experienced. We want to bring you on the team. I was smart. I already had a master's degree at that point. So they were like, oh, yeah, you're qualified to be here. Yeah. Man, I picked balls for a couple months, just like hanging out. And it was summertime in Florida. So I was bouncing around to these fantastic courses, playing for free and just, enjoying that. And, moved through the ranks pretty quickly. And by the time I was done, I was their, operations director and tournament manager. And, I had 70 plus direct reports. Wow. And, was like, rung below the head pro, who was, and a great pro. The director of golf was a great pro. The GM was a great pro. I learned a ton from those guys. They treated me, great. I got to see a ton of stuff from the PGA tournament team and work with them and learn from them, hosting, the pro events. And
right.
There were days where I'd have 8 or 10 separate groups on the 4 golf courses that I was responsible for. Each group is 40 to 70 people.
Right.
and just simultaneously running half a dozen events. So it was, like I said, I had a blast doing that. And then my wife and I were like, well, it's time to start having a family. We were getting like to the kid having age, and we're like, well, we have literally no family in Florida. We were just like, where do we want to raise our family? And we're both from the Northeast, so we came back up here and to be around family and everything, and that's how we landed back here. I took a head pro job, worked in the business there as a head pro director of golf at a private club, and then I went out on my own, and it's awesome.
Well, first off, God bless you for being a teacher and teaching in New York City. But
Thanks.
Wouldn't you say that teaching English and teaching golfers at times is really about the same?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, I think one of the things, and again, I'm super, super fortunate in that I've been able to do something that I love every day.
Right.
I mean, I love teaching. I still love teaching people. My son, who's 7, gets grammar lessons on the daily because he, doesn't, subjugate his verbs properly. I'm like, what are you doing? No. Like I have those knee-jerk reactions. Why are you ending a sentence with a preposition? This is incorrect. Knock it off.
See?
But just going through and, all the teaching skills that I had from being a classroom teacher and having a degree in education, I think made me a more effective instructor because I studied how to teach and how to connect with people and how to look at a student and say, okay, well, I understand that, this explanation, you're coming over the top. That doesn't, a lot of guys do that, right? I mean, if you're standing on a lesson tee, probably
Right.
50% of the people you'd give a lesson to, slice, and most of that's because of club path. And that, student A doesn't get it when you say it this way, but student B does. Then student C needs a third approach. You're saying the same thing, but you have to have 10 ways to say it.
Exactly.
And, looking at, and understanding learning styles and understanding how to structure lessons and say okay, to get to this finish line, I can't teach this before I have to teach this, and I have to teach this first. And you can, basically curriculum plan or lesson plan, your way through it. And again, I think there are tons of great pros and tons of great teachers that all do the same thing on the fly. But, again, I think that's a big part of why, my lesson business has always been successful, no matter where I've been.
It's funny you talk about it like that because there's no way I'm a teaching pro or even close to being, I shouldn't even be associated with that conversation, but
No.
teaching a physical skill does have some of the same concepts as teaching an intellectual or academic skill, but you also have to look at the capabilities of the student, the physical capabilities of the student.
Yeah.
And a good example, you talk about golf, which is really complex. It's not a simple singular plane movement. My granddaughter last year, she's 5 now, so she was either 4 or just turned 5 when she was doing this, and she was going through gymnastics, and the person that was trying to teach her some gymnastics things was trying to get her to do a handstand, and at 4 or 5 years old, that's a very it's a complicated skill to begin with, but she wasn't physically able to put the moves together. And so when you start trying to teach people something that they don't understand or can't do, that's when frustration starts. And we see a lot of this in golf as well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm just happy that no one asked me to do a handstand.
Forget that. Well, I'm sure when you were in college, you did a few handstands.
I think it was something else, more.
Yeah, we don't talk about those.
We don't.
Yeah. That's funny, but you're totally right. I mean, the skills translate, and I think, the learning styles translate too, because, no matter what kind of lesson you're giving, like for physical activities, obviously, you have to look at someone can do, you have to look at, age, overall athleticism, hand-eye coordination, injury history, basic thing, how tall someone is, right? The taller someone is, the shorter someone is, their swings are going to look different. Like, just just math. It's just angles,
Right.
right? I mean, so that makes a huge difference in how you approach it.
Exactly. So how about you're also the owner of Hudson Valley Indoor Golf. Tell us about that, because Chris wants an indoor golf simulator. He lives in El Paso.
Yep.
And he says it's too hot to play in the summer. So talk about the Hudson Valley Indoor Golf Center.
Yeah. So I mean, again, this all originated, a bunch of years ago, where I was, basically took the winter off because, in the Northeast, your golf season is short but intense, because you really only got, a couple months where your conditions are really, in top notch. And then you've got these kind of funky shoulder seasons that can go either way.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes it can be nice in, late March or early April, and sometimes it's almost May. So the month of April is, a big question mark, which actually is what I've been talking about with a lot of the host courses for the Am Tour. Is I'm like, okay, let's talk course conditions. Where are you usually along in your agronomy schedule, during these dates, trying to decide, okay, do you put an event at this stage? But, I was home and there was a huge demand. There was no golf to be played in the winter.
Right.
And I was like, and it was just as the, simulators were starting to come open. And, I really got into it heavy during COVID because, honestly, if, the loan prices at that point were pretty low. So I was able to take out, a small loan to get all the simulators up and running. And I found a, nice space that we renovated. And I put the sweat equity into it. And, a buddy of mine that's a, really talented contractor, came in and helped me out with it. And we gutted this space and rebuilt it and put in 5 simulator bays, club building and customization workshop, a bar, an indoor putting green, some nice kind of country club style feeling, bathrooms and everything. It could, make it feel, golfy, for lack of a word, right? And then, since we've been opened, I always try and look, and, kind of my business philosophy has always been, do the things that nobody else is doing.
Right.
And that way you don't have to really worry about competition. And thankfully for me, the things in this area that were not being done, there was a lot of people doing good custom fitting, right? They, country clubs would have like their fitting days and things like that, where the manufacturers would come out. But, there wasn't really a lot of good standalone club fitters. So, I got into that space, I got into coaching, and, in my geographic area, there were no simulators. So I didn't really have, anybody else around. It was a, hour commute south of me. And then since I've been open, there are, I don't know, probably another 8 or 10 that have opened up. But I was really the second one open. So, kind of being at the forefront of that's been really strong. And then since then, I always just focus on, golfer experience, because some of these places, like you hear about like a Top Golf, right? And they've got a ton of people going through the door, and having a great time, but not a lot of people come back because it's like an expensive bowling trip. It's a novelty. It's a one-time off, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, well, I'm not going after the guy bringing, an awkward first date on a golf outing, right? I'm going for golfers. Like if you're coming, to Hudson Valley Indoor Golf, it's about practicing. It's about data. It's about the quality of the golf software, the course selection. It's about, practice. Is about club fitting. We take that seriously. Like each bay has tour balls only, right? We don't have range rocks. We only use, either, Titleist or Callaway or TP5s. Put tour golf balls in there 24/7. Like I buy them and put them out there so that people don't use their dirty golf balls. I mean, part of that's selfish because it helps the wear and tear of the spoons, which are expensive to replace. But, yeah, just, that is part of the experience. The bays are huge. A lot of times you get to indoor simulator spaces and they're really tiny and you feel cramped. Whereas you're used to playing golf outside and, it's obviously you're outside on these, 50 to 100 to 200 acres of beautiful space. So you have that openness.
Right.
So I would try to mimic that as much as you could, when you're still inside, it's been fun. We've been open, we're about to start our 4th year. We're, in month 12 of our 3rd year. So, we opened January. So we're coming up on our 4 year, the start of our 4th year, and we got a bunch of great things going. So it's been great, and not having to be part of the like country club, private club grind,
Right.
Right.
been really nice. Just I can kind of set my own schedule. In the summers, I can teach when I want. In the winters, we're obviously a lot busier. We've got leagues and clinics and tournaments and stuff like that we run on Sunday. But just having that freedom and not being chained to being at the club 6 or 7 days a week,
Right.
is a big benefit, at least for me.
yeah.
Especially at this age, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we all have young kids, so
Yeah, the course is a good place for them to grow up, but it's also you're still working, right? It's still business, and it's especially from the country club perspective. There's
oh yeah.
you got to take care of that, but so how are you going to transition the things that you're doing with Hudson Valley into the tour, because a lot of it's like we talked about before, the mentality is the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the one thing, and I talked to Jen quite a bit, and I've been trying to do my best job of listening to what the local guys, the feedback I'm getting about what they're looking for in a tour, right? Because it's about providing a great experience to the guys coming out to play, right? I saw the tagline, and forgive me if I butcher this quote a little bit, but it was something along the lines of, play like the pros play, but we're amateurs or something like that. But it was a really clever line that was on the tour website. And I was like, oh, I like that. And I was like, that's a great sentiment. Try and put together a tour quality event, and put together some of those amenities that, make people feel like, oh no, this is a special occasion, to come and play in this tour, and let that experience really kind of speak for itself.
Right.
So, and getting, the schedule right, I think is really big, making sure we're putting the right types of courses on there. There were a couple that I knew by reputation. I was like, well, those are gone. Like those don't pass my sniff test. I'm like, no.
That's good.
And again, I'm super fortunate that I'm friendly with most of the pros in the area, so I've been able to. I mean, I'm working hard on the schedule. I got like I don't know, probably 15 conversations going simultaneously,
Right.
trying to lock in all the courses. And up here everybody's closed, so everything takes time because it's winter break, right? The pros are done after a long season. They've been beaten up, chewed up, and spit out. And they just are starting to pick themselves up after they close, usually mid-November. So boards aren't in session, so trying to get things officially on a calendar is a little rocky. But trying to really put good golf courses on there. And it doesn't really necessarily mean like expensive clubs. We have a couple great munis in this area that are, I mean, super fun to play, and we'll have, I mean, again, I think the guys are going to love it. I mean, and some of them played it, but they're new to the tour.
Right.
So they're, new locations, they're centrally located, trying to look at the schedule and, spread it out so that we've got some on the southern side of the, territory, some on the northern side, most of them relatively central, just so that, guys can feel like, oh, I've got a home match. I've got some true away matches where I'm driving to get there, and then have the most of them kind of middle-ish, and then, get some new, fresh locations in there, and then just kind of try and upgrade the experience throughout, so, I'm excited for it. We'll see how it all pans out, but
it's going to be good. I mean, the Upstate Tour has traditionally done well. It's got a lot of members.
Yeah.
But anytime you can infuse new, go ahead.
I would say that, I mean, one of the things you were just saying, like the Upstate Tour is really good, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've probably only personally spoken to maybe 25, 30 guys that have reached out to me. And the one thing that runs throughout all of their commentaries is just like how passionate these guys are about the tour, how much they love the tour. And, they all want to bend over backwards to try and just keep it going and make it better. Yeah, and anytime you can see that kind of just like really sincere enthusiasm for something,
Right.
Really makes me as a director say like, okay, I want to step up, and get something really good for these guys, to come out and just have a blast.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I mean, I think, bringing what you have from your business over here, you're hitting the nail on the head, I guess is what the saying is. I think you're on the right track. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens in both your ventures, honestly.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, like I said, it's an exciting time for me. I'm definitely, again, I say this a lot, when you're doing something you love, you never really have that bad of a day. I mean, nothing's ever perfect, right? But
Right.
You're around people that, love golf in a game that I love. You're helping people get better at their game. You're putting on a tournament and letting people, I mean, again, you guys have been around it, you just see somebody make a putt on 18 to win their flight or shoot a personal best. I mean, the euphoria that person's feeling in that moment, you can, it radiates through a group. Like people are amped up, they're, chest bumping and high fiving and just having a great time, like that, that stuff is awesome.
Yeah, I think one of the things you're going to see here is the camaraderie is really second to none. And you mentioned it a little bit, for the most part, they're while it's competitive golf, it's guys that are playing together that want each other to do well and are rooting for each other and cheering each other on, even though they're still competing. Where you don't necessarily see that in a lot of places. That's one of the things that you really get on this tour is the camaraderie, and everybody wants everybody to do well. And it's fun to see.
Yeah. No, that's what I said. I mean, I'm stoked to work with, the group of guys that's here. I said, I mean, you said it perfectly just a second ago, is you can see the camaraderie and, how quickly everybody comes together. So I'm actually stoked. One of the guys on tour right after, we met before, I had anything to do with the tour. He was like, oh my God, this space is awesome. He's like, your energy's awesome. I want to do some stuff here. And, again, a little bit ironically, because we started planning this before, me even having the first conversations about anything Wheel Tour came on, we decided to host a all day, kind of like elimination style tournament. It's this Sunday, and guy sent out, and he got like 30 people to sign up right away, and then the field kind of settles itself out because, oh, sorry, I got a birthday party I forgot about or whatever.
Right.
And we've we got 24 guys that are all 100% in. We're gonna do a live draft on Friday night, and then everyone's gonna come out on Sunday for literally a day of golf. So if you end up making it to the finals, it's gonna be what's the math on it? So we're gonna do some alternate shot to try and give people a little bit of a break, so that they don't like just have their arm fall off from playing 100 holes of golf or something. But I mean, it's going to be well north of 60 holes for any of the guys that make it to the end.
Awesome.
So, as I said, it should be a blast, and I've got a big indoor putting green. So like, we're going to do the guys that get eliminated, we'll do some, putt offs, and you can do like putt pong, putt tack toe, just some really fun stuff to, let everybody, hang out and enjoy a day of golf when it's 4 degrees outside.
Yep. It's turning. So do you have any courses booked yet?
So is that?
Do you have any courses booked yet that you want to tease anybody with?
Sure. So I mean, we got one of the courses that the guys said they liked last year. I think our season opener is going to be at Lazy Swan, which is further south in the area, which is a fun track. So I think that's 99% done. I'm just waiting on a couple contractual things, but the pro and I, made an agreement there, so that'll be a good one. And then we've got a nice private club for a weekend afternoon on June 6th. That's, again, a great track, going to be way longer than I think a lot of the guys are used to in this section. But it's a super fun layout. It's got some cool double greens. Colony Golf and Country Club is on June 6th. So got those two ironed out. And I've got a couple big ones that most people haven't played regardless. So I'll just say it out there. There's some big names that the tour has certainly never been to. That, I talked to a couple of my buddies and was like, hey, is this even possible? Right. I know you're pretty snooty. What's the deal? Maybe we can sneak out on a Monday. And they're like, well, maybe, and they're like, how many guys? I'm like, well, depends on, depends on something.
What you're saying.
And they're like, well, there's one course, that I talked to in New Hampshire, that has 64 members total. And it's phenomenal. It is. I mean, most people, haven't even heard of it, and I'm not even going to name drop it because I'll probably get yelled at because someone will be like, "Oh yeah, I know a guy that played there once," and and I was like, I talked to the pro. I was like, "Listen, you and I both know you won't see any of your members. You'll have 0 rounds of golf on the day before and the day after. Let me bring a super select, like the first 40 guys that sign up. Like, let me do a little thing up there, because, that no one gets on." And he was like, no. I was like, what's the dollar amount? I was like, well, what if we gave you like $300 a round? And he was like, not a chance. I was just like,
but you know what? If you don't ask, then what the answer is, right?
Right. Exactly. Again, a couple other guys that are top 100 courses, actually, I mean, there's 2 courses I'm talking to that in the Golfweek rankings are, top 100, in our area. So that's the teaser. If somebody wants to go read the rankings and say, oh, okay, in upstate New York, which Golfweek top 100s are in there?
Well, you got to remember now, you got to read though. You got to be able to read.
You do have to be able to read.
Got to be able to read.
Yep.
But here's the one thing. Our golfers on the Golfweek Amateur Tour are smart.
Yeah.
That's why they're on the Golfweek Amateur Tour.
Yep. Yep.
Well, Evan, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate it. Looking for big things from you. I mean, you've got everything that you need. You've got a good base up there. You've got the history of one of these things. We know that you're going to just pick up right where they left off and take off, make it even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's a blast coming on the show and, chatting for a little bit and seeing you guys face to face, even though it's podcast form.
That's all right.
But yeah, I'm excited for the season. It's something new and fun. And hopefully I'll be able to deliver on the promise year 1 for some really great courses. And, if not, we'll work on it and get it next year. Just get a good road in there for the boys.
I'm sure you're going to do great. And let's plan on getting you on about midway through the season. And
yeah, absolutely. Love it.
All right, bud.
Sounds good.
You take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep, you too, guys. Thank you.
Let's take a break from the show to hear about Srixon's ZX Mark II drivers.
ZX Mark II drivers are for major players, major winners, major power. All new ZX Mark II drivers, only from Srixon.
Tim, Upstate better be ready because the new guy at the helm is going to bring it, I think. And if they're not ready now, they're going to be in trouble.
I tell you, that guy's squared away. I mean, he's all business, and he's got the background for it. I mean, he's been a pro. He's got the indoor simulator business. Yeah, I mean, dude just squared away.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what he brings and what we're able to talk about next year at the national championship on everything that he's brought to the table. It's going to be something to keep an eye out. Definitely.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's not the last time we're going to be talking to him.
No, I agree. I'm sure we're going to get him one throughout mid-season, but My guess is we may end up getting him on sooner than that if that trajectory that we think he's going to have holds true.
Oh yeah, I believe so.
And we didn't even talk about his. He's got 2 guys helping him, so he's going to have a lot of help, and that's one thing that I've talked about. With other tour directors in the past, you really got to have at least 3 people on tournament day to if you're going to play, right? You got to have 3 people if you're going to play, and to be
Not including yourself.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he's playing or not, but Jen, the voice from behind the curtain. I don't know if you heard that, but Jen said he's not playing, but that's what you need to be able to run it so that you're providing that customer service, at that real high level. Not knocking anybody who doesn't have 3 and plays. I'm just looking at it from a logistical perspective, so that you can provide a really good service. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I have 2 of myself, and even then we find ourselves at times running around like chickens without a head, trying to figure out what's next or where we need to be or whatnot. So yeah, the more the merrier. But off topic before we get our next guest on, Jen's like the Wizard of Oz, just back there calling the shots.
Yeah, I'm telling you, wait, it's really funny. You say Wizard of Oz. We before we started this, yesterday talked about Elf on the Shelf with you, and she's really the right height for Elf on the Shelf.
Jesus, we're not going there. I'm not going to be part of that. Nope. Anyways,
you just want to go on.
I will not be a part of that. I like my shins where they're at.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, our next guests, they've been around for a long time, and they were one of the first people that I met when I came to Atlanta, and I think this could be the first father-son tour director combo that we've had. I know you got a lot of husband wives do this together, but I don't know that we have any father-sons. So let's just go ahead and bring in the new Atlanta tour directors, Chris and Mike Webb. Chris and Mike, welcome to the show. It's good seeing you guys. It's really good seeing you guys, and this is really the first year in forever that I haven't been a tour director. And Mike, while we were waiting on you because you were late here getting into the scene, I was telling your dad it's been 10 years since I came down to Atlanta. 2016 was my first year as tour director in Atlanta, and you all were some of the first that I met, and it's good to see you all taking over to as tour directors. You're all going to do a phenomenal job with it, and I appreciate it.
Well, we're excited to get it. We've been chomping at the bit, and we played since 2013 was our first year. So, we've had 12 years in the on deck circle to prepare and decide. Here's how I would do it if I was in charge. And I'm sure every tour has 50 of those guys, right? But now is our time, and I'm sure that there will be a million little things that we tweak or maybe get wrong the first time around. But we're excited to give it a go and hopefully bring some energy and big shoes to fill for Tim Newman. So we'll do what we can.
Yeah, no, don't worry about me. You guys got to do you, and you're already doing a great job. And I just say that, from the Facebook perspective. I mean, you all are doing a great job getting some messages out and some, drawing some interest in Facebook. Some of the emails that you all have been sending out have been great. I say some of them. Everyone that I've seen has been great. So it's not like, okay, this one was good, this one was horrible. All the messages that you all are putting out are really good, and you're really on top of it. And now's really the time. It doesn't matter whether you're a new tour director or a veteran tour director. The time from Thanksgiving to the new year, that's a critical time to start, getting your message out and growing the base of membership.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the good things that we bring together as a father-son duo, if you want to think of it this way, we bring the old and the new. I'm here as more of the traditionalist, so I look at the courses that we, we want to go back. We want to be sure we got that on the schedule, or I don't care if we go back to that one or not. And then Michael, he's from the new side. He said, "Well, hey, let's try this. Let's do this. What about? Have you ever thought about this?" So we're together. We keep each other going pretty good. We're excited and looking forward to a great kickoff for 2026. Maybe it's in the works. We haven't confirmed anything yet, Tim, but we are looking for maybe the first February local icebreaker event in Georgia.
Oof.
Good luck with that. I mean,
Yeah, but
We're going south of Atlanta to make it happen, but we're working.
even still, I mean, it's not that it's really that hard to do. I mean, one of the main reasons for me never doing anything in February is I was tired. I wanted to take a nap. But
It's time for everybody to get out of hibernation and get some things going. So we're looking at adding. We think we're going to have a full 15 tournament schedule this year.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So, but before we start getting into the schedule, why don't you kind of give everybody an overview of who you guys are and not only how long you've been on the tour, but some of your favorite moments of being on the tour. And I can tell you one of my favorite moments of you all being on the tour was a couple years ago when you both won your flight on the Father's Day tournament that we had. That to me was really special.
yeah, that was, so there's only been a couple of times like that we've managed to align together and win on the same day. And that's one of them. So those are great memories. I almost view it for me, and Dad can echo this too. I kind of grew up playing this. In 2013, I was like 16 years old. So, there's a lot of growth that happened throughout me playing this tour. So, it's evolved. My emotions and the ways I handle myself on the golf course has certainly evolved over time. But there's been a ton of great memories. Yeah, you like to win, but occasionally we get to play together. That's always fun, to be able to cheer your dad on. But yeah, specifically, you kind of took the wind out of my sails there when you used that one, Tim, because that would take the cake from me. You win the Father's Day event with your dad. It's hard to beat that,
It is. How about you, Chris?
Well, I'm 56 years old. I am a Georgia boy. You can tell by my background, my national championship Bulldog stuff. I've even got shamedly. I've got a Falcon Super Bowl jersey where we lost the worst Super Bowl loss of all time, maybe. But we're local to the Metro Atlanta area, born and raised. We know the courses, know the area, know the people, and we're looking forward to another great year. We love the tour. I love the tour. Me and Mike play on different divisions. We're different flights now, and so sometimes the ride home gets rough. But other than that, some of my favorite events are gathering with the guys. I mean, sometimes it is hard to get a group together if you're the only one around that plays. And in our line of work, we're with a lot of different people, and we're weekend warriors on the golf course. And it's easy to look at a schedule and say, "Oh man, I'm going to that one." And you don't have to worry about who you're going to be paired with. You're going to have some good guys in your group, and you meet friends. And man, we love it, and we love the competition as well. And it's always exciting to get one where you pull the tape out and get to measure to see if you're closest to the pin, or tell the story on the ride back home. Say, "Michael, you won't believe it. Half an inch and I'd have had a hole in one." Well, that's the story of my life, because I've never had a hole in one. But Michael's my son. He's the middle between two girls, and we're gonna be the father-son duo for the Atlanta tour, and we're excited to make it happen. The good, bad, and the ugly.
And I will add, Tim, just before you jump in. So Dad, he's in the D flight. He's been in the C flight. I'm in C. I've been in B, and we're both kind of borderline. I want to go up. I'm hoping I go up soon enough, but I'm only going to do it when my index arrives there. I'm not gonna be jumping ahead of it, but the ride to the course is fun. Normally we're riding together, so I'm trying to coach him up. Hey, you driver, you're having trouble with your driver. Don't be afraid to pull that 3-wood. Whatever and on the way back, it's either we're talking about the successes or it's how did you manage to shoot 109, Bab?
Oh my God.
What happened? And we're going hole by hole, so the whole day is fun. It's a fun time.
That's awesome. Chris, I don't know if you want to tell them about what it's like playing as a tour director.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this playing and the tour director, 8 years. I will tell you one thing and one thing only: have fun, because your phone will still be blowing up no matter what. You will have questions that you addressed in the pre-tournament rules that you've told everybody, and I swear, I don't think there's been one tournament that's gone by where not even the second hole gone through and it's, hey, are we playing lift clean place today?
Yeah.
So when you have those, just have fun out there. But it does feel a whole lot better when you get that victory. Because once that victory comes and you had all that, and trust me, once you get that first victory, they're going to be asking for you to move up. So get ready for that as well.
One of my fondest memories was with Tim and Jen running the tour down at Reynolds, and Michael left number 9 and went to the wrong number 1 tee box.
Oh my God.
Jim remembers that. So it was penalty strokes, but I think you came back and won, didn't you, Michael?
No, I got like third, but
They got in the money. Hey, if you win money, you won something.
we actually try not to revisit that very much. But
But we still laugh about it.
you do.
Oh my God.
Look at Tim. That took years off of his life, man. I'm telling you right now.
It did.
Man, it wasn't a big deal to me at all, but it didn't affect me. Don't follow the people in front of you. So like I said, listen to the rules.
That's it. My God, Chris, let me tell you. So the course we were at had 3 different 9s, right?
Yeah.
And we were utilizing all 3 9s.
Okay.
Okay, so we had 5 flights using 3 different 9s for 2 days. So it's just dependent on what your rotation was on any given day, so that you got to play all 3. And the group in front of Mike didn't follow directions. And so Mike's group didn't follow directions. And luckily, the group behind Mike did follow directions, so I only had to deal with 2 of them. So I think they started on hole 8 of 1 9. So they played 8 and 9, and then they went to hole 1 of that same 9, as opposed to going 1 of the whatever 9 they were supposed to start to go.
It happens. It happens.
That's the first time in my life that's ever happened.
And you come to El Paso.
Well, maybe that's like saying something about El Paso and Atlanta. I don't know.
Well, also, I don't know why you would use all 3 9s, but I mean, it is what it is.
We had
200 something years.
Yeah, we had 200. Yeah, we were doing what we do. We pack courses down here in Atlanta. We're not a 70 or 80 tournament. We get people to show up.
Who's we? I don't know about this we anymore. You left that ship.
It was a regional.
You left that ship a long time ago. Don't say we.
See. Oh gosh. So what do you guys have planned for this year? For who's doing the Facebook post, Chris or Mike? Chris, it's got to be you.
Nah, well, we've got some help. Mike's wife is a realtor, and so she's social media guru. She's helping a lot.
Oh
Yeah, we're splitting time. We're splitting time on some of that. Something will pop in his head and he'll throw it on there. I had one that I thought was going to be really good, and it was a total bust. I had a kind of a guessing game thing, and I was going to give something away for the first person who guessed it right. And literally, Tim, Danny Gresson, within 5 minutes, gave the right guess.
So he guessed that. I was going to ask you about that, because that's a brilliant idea. I love what you did. But he guessed it right. That was the right one.
I thought I was like being really clever, and it was Chris. If you don't remember, the course down here called Chateau Elan, And so I just put a picture of a Tesla, and I was like, here's a hint of where we're going to do our finale at, our season finale. And I thought it was like really clever. And the very first comment was Chateau Elon. The Tesla being Elon Musk, make him look like.
It was pretty clever. I didn't figure it out till you just explained it just now.
Oh, you didn't know what it was?
Oh, this is gonna be this, Chris. We're gonna have fun with these guys this year.
Oh man, that's
I just put Elon together. So I was like, oh, that's what that was about. I had no idea.
That's the old and new. That's that connection right there.
That's
Like,
it.
and,
Yeah.
well, that should be fun.
So what other surprises you have that you want to tell us now? I know you're doing the 12 days of Christmas starting. But I guess it's it's by the time this
Saturday. That's Sunday. We start Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, we start Sunday and go through Christmas Day.
So you can give me at least one, because this will come out after it starts if you want. It'll be a secret. I won't let it out before Monday. I promise.
Well, we're doing a 2-day at Currahee. We are we hope to do a 3-day event with two for points, but one a fun day at the par 3 at Chateau Alon for our tour championship.
And are you asking what we're giving away, or are you asking about?
No, I just give me something on the schedule that you're.
Oh, schedule wise, yeah, we're. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. We're pumped about the schedule. I didn't think I would have this much fun scheduling courses. Yeah, the 2-day at Currahee we're pumped about. The season finale 2-day at Chateau Alon. We might have a Friday skins game. We're kind of trying to finalize that. But we just put Lanier Island on the schedule, and Chris, if you ever come down here, Lanier Islands is just a crazy course. I think like every hole's on the water. There's going to be some high numbers that day, but it's going to be a fun time. Dad can share with you some of the others. We tried to kind of merge keeping some of the courses that everybody loves.
Mm-hmm.
You don't turn over the apple cart, so to speak, but we're
doing 2-day events this year. Going to do 2 Mondays,
Yeah.
just to get a better course that they won't book us on a Saturday. So we're going to do Windermere on a Monday, and who else we got on a Monday, Michael?
we just booked Lanier Islands on.
Yeah, Lanier Islands and Windermere are both Mondays.
Yeah. It's funny. I was texting some of our tour guys today, just follow-ups and trying to, make connections. And I texted one of our guys about, hey, just don't forget early bird, that kind of stuff. And he's texted back. He's like, yeah, I'm going to register for the end of the year. And just so you know, I'm bringing like 4 guys to Windermere for the member guests. I'm like, okay, great. We love that. So,
And a couple things we're doing in our 12 days of Christmas to try to generate new members is we're giving away, like both of those Mondays, we're giving away a free entry into the tournament, but it has to be someone who's not a member of Golfweek. It's a guest. You can bring a guest for free. Mm-hmm. And so it encourages you to bring a guest kind of thing. So we're doing that just to try to promote as well. So
that's awesome. And Windermere's a good course. Obviously, Lanier's a great course. And they should be good draws for you.
Yeah. We got Bears Best. Mm-hmm. We're working on TPC Sugarloaf. It'll probably be next year, not this year though. So. Yeah,
that's one. Obviously, everybody wants to play. It's just number one, you got to get into the rotation. You got to have the. I mean,
it will be a Saturday
list. Yeah, it's not going to be a Saturday. That's for sure. It'll be a Monday, and you just got to be able to get into the rotation on a good weekend. That's on a good week. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
So, that's it is what it is. And, everybody wants to play it, but that's just a hard one to get scheduled. And I do think that we've been to a lot of the same courses recently, and so infusing some new courses or some ones we haven't been to in a long time, that'll be really good for membership.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. So we're going back to Bears Best. Some of the old standbys that we love to go to, we're going to them. So
I'll say this, Tim. I think that I will probably never make another suggestion to a tour director of, hey, why don't we play this course? Because after calling and talking to like 50, it's not just, you don't just pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm going to play this course. Yeah. It's a real challenge to align a schedule. We really wanted to be spaced out the right way, not playing 3 weekends back to back. Right. It's putting the puzzle together. It really is. So been fun, but it is challenging. I mean, it's not just picking up the phone and booping it. Out.
We love shotguns because everybody's there for the award ceremony, but they hate doing shotguns on Saturdays. So you take what you can get to play good courses. But we do have, we've got 5 or 6 shotguns, I think, but some of them are straight tees, but which you get. We're going to have a great season.
Yeah, I think you are too. And what I'd like to do, I'm telling this to all, especially all the new ones. Love to get you on probably about mid-season, see how things are going, and get you guys, promoted from promoting your tour, and hopefully, some of your regional major winners as well.
That'd be great.
Atlanta is always does well in regionals. I mean, we always have 3 or 4 regional winners every year. So if we don't, then I'm looking at you guys. It's your fault.
Well, we've already picked the ones that we're going to this year. I went to Branson for the first time last year, and I loved it. So I want to go back and take Mike with me this year. But we're probably going to go to TPC in Louisiana, going to the Nationals, Sequoia National. I think we're going to do Sequoia this year. We try to pick out 3 or 4 we want to play. So we're looking forward to it. But I have learned some new terms. Remember, I'm not your social media guru, but I have learned some terms. Everybody that watches this, find our Facebook page, like, and share.
There you go.
There you go. You're getting there.
That's what I like to hear. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate it. It's always good seeing you, and I'm sure I'll see you here real soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Let's take a break from the show to hear about Srixon's ZX Mark II irons.
A great iron set needs more than good looks. It's gotta be fast and gotta be pure. But good looks never hurt either. The all-new ZX Mark II irons from Srixon.
I really think that Atlanta's going to be in good hands this year with the Webbs, Chris and Mike. They've been around for a while. They've been itching to be tour directors somewhere. They've been asking around the last couple of years. And, let's put it this way. They got the schedule done quicker this year than I ever did for Atlanta.
I mean, they got their schedule done before I even had my schedule done.
So they're on top, and they've got some good courses too. Of course that we haven't been on in a while. So I'm sure Atlanta is in good hands with them. And I know they're going to do good things. That's for sure.
I think all the new directors that we've talked to are going to bring some good things, and they're just like anybody else. They're going to bring their own little flair, their own personality. And you either come to like it or you don't, but either way, it brings something different.
Right. And
that's what we're all about. I mean, I think Golfweek as a tour, as a whole, is something different.
Right. And
I mean, we're not the #1 amateur tour in the country for a reason, or for no reason.
For no reason, right? And I can't remember if I said that here or when I was talking to somebody else. When a tour director changes, yes, we're going to miss them, but the new one's going to bring something new to it.
Right.
And the things that they bring to it, just because it's not, what somebody else is doing doesn't make it bad. It's just something that's going to add to it. There's certain things, from our brand, from the Golfweek Amateur Tour brand, is going to be the exact same, no matter which tour you play in, right? But some of the local flair, some of the local culture, some of the local, things that you do are going to be different. Just pull up a website from pick a tour. Go to the Kansas tour. 5 or 6 different cash games. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at the cash games that Lyle does, or in DC they don't do close to the pin. They do polies. It's just different things that work in different markets, and it's part of that culture. And a lot of times new tour directors will bring in something new that's going to add something new and exciting to that tour. So it's
Right.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's if I had all the money in the world, I can travel to every tour. It'd be great, but it'd also be fun because you get to see the different cultures.
Yep, absolutely. So this is the last episode before Christmas. Before we start talking about that, we do need to talk about that thing that's hanging off your shoulder.
Sir.
I know you want to get into a little bit more depth of and description of how the weekend went.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to recover from it. But it was a great time, Both tours took out 30 plus players, 32 I believe total. Which is amazing, to get 30 guys to drive from Arizona to middle New Mexico to a little town called Elephant Butte that, unless you know where it's at.
Did you say the town's called Elephant Butte?
Elephant Butte. Butte. Settle down. Don't disrespect.
No. We're just
It's a well-known, it's got a big lake that everybody goes to, but we competed 2 days. Started off really cold. But as you can tell, Team El Paso Las Cruces won. Came down to the last couple matches in D-Flight, which anyone will tell you, even the D-Flighters will tell you, that's no for sure gimme. Like, you still got to earn it, and you can lose it real quick, too. But now we pulled out the victory. It was pretty cool. We had the mayor and the congresswoman there that the course invited to enjoy the festivities. They had a party for us. Our sponsors got us championship hats that we got to keep. It just feels good, man. This belt has been missing from our tour for a year, and Arizona would jab us with pictures here and there, but they're not ready for what's coming this year.
Okay.
They have no idea. And on the side note, we raised a little over $1,000 for the V Foundation to start off our joint fundraiser for next year. So that's a plus side. I mean, you know how Arizona raises money. They raise money. So that was something new that we did this year was, do our fundraisers that we do, and then winner gets a little more than half the winning team, and the losing team gets the rest, and that's how we start our fund. So we're already up.
Well, you're already up a belt plus.
I'm up a belt.
Or whatever percentage you went with, but I like that you all are doing joint fundraiser and you split that, because again, isn't that really what it's all about?
Yeah, it is, and you can see the passion that these players had. I mean, you see the passion that they have all year long. Asking how can they do makeup points because they're in the points race, or what what's happening next, or even during the tournaments, you can see the pressure that they're having. But to be able to come together, and who you're playing with because you play with them all year long, right? Hey, let me play with so and so. Hey, I think me and so and so are a great match. We want to go up against these guys. We know we can beat them. It's a lot of fun. We had a huge welcome party Friday night, and me, Gabe, and his assistant Daniel did like a fantasy football draft where we would announce the matchups and they would come up and take pictures, and we give them their cool swag that we got, a hoodie and a polo. And I felt bad for the other party that what they were having, the course is having on the other side of the patio because we were loud
You got a little
in our little corner. We were a little rowdy, but it was a good time, man. It was a good time. Next year we got to go to your favorite course, 2-pack. And we're going to 2-block next year, and we're gonna try and be the first time to go back to back. No one's ever won on opposing soil, and if we can bring that same team and that same energy, we have a good shot.
That's awesome. I love the way you guys do that, and the camaraderie that you all have built. The competition and the fun that you guys have built. It's good to see from y'all, especially out west. There's tours out here that are much closer together on the East Coast that are like that, and when you've got, I mean, you said yourself, it's not real close, how you all are, but even though you're not
feels
close,
like it is,
right? It feels like it is, and that's the key. That's really what we want to do. But let's jab Gabe in Arizona while we can, while he's not on here. I just pulled up your member numbers, and I know you all have a contest.
Oh yes, that was also brought up.
He's sitting at 19 as of this recording, and you're at 35.
And mine's about to go higher because we're about to start the 12 days of Christmas, and in order to get eligible for those drawings, you got to be a member. So that's probably going to kick up pretty quick in the next couple of days as this recording is being done. But yeah, we have another competition, Race to 100 that we always do. We brought that up, and it's looking like it's going to be a short race for Team El Paso. Hopefully, knock on wood. I mean, Gabe's my brother from another mother, but I'm always. Funny thing, so we had the news crew out there for a little bit, and they wanted me and Gabe to do a segment, and they were like, "All right, here's what we want. We want you both to hold the belt, and I'm gonna ask you the question: who's gonna win?" And you both say your tour's name and look at each other and bicker back and forth. And here's some examples. And me and Gabe both look at the guy and we say, "Stop. We got this from here.
We got this."
And they're like, "Well, do you need to?" Nope. Just hit record. He's like, "All right." Hits record, says, "Who's going to win?" And we both say it and we both look at each other and then we go back and forth. And, it's a 2-minute clip maybe, but
right.
We finish and the guy's like, "That's the best interview I've done this weekend." Well, I told you, we do this on a daily basis. So it was nothing to practice or rehearse. It was all natural.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's to be expected too, though, with you guys, and for those of you that don't know, Gabe is one who's been a mentor to you.
Right.
Was the tour director in El Paso, and kind of passed it off to you. And so it's good to see that. But again, it comes back to that's what the tour's about anyway.
Yeah,
all the way around.
It is, and for 2 days, you can hear the trash talking from both teams, but from before the tournament started and after, then you can see the respect that both tours have for each other.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Because we could go, we can go to an Arizona event and shake hands and act like family, and we can come. Right. They can come to an El Paso event and same thing. But for those 2 days in the year, when the belt's up for grabs, it's like big brother, which is us, and little brother fighting over a little cookie.
There you go. I love that. But on the other hand, he is beating you on he does have a schedule posted.
That's fine.
And I love this. I always love his schedule. You know that, don't you? I mean, having been out there and spent some time out there, looking at those courses, I'm like, man, I love playing those courses. I love.
I mean, it's yeah. When he has 100 courses to pick from, it's a lot easier to pick nice courses.
I'm not saying you don't have nice courses. I've just never been there to play, right?
Well, come on.
Love to. I would love to.
What you need to do is come down to our Ryder Cup. See what the real circus is all about. You can be our host, our on the mic host.
Well, I don't want to talk out of turn here. I don't know how I would pull this one off. I probably can't ever pull it off unless you do it on a different date or a different week. I'm talking about Tupac. I was looking.
Oh yeah, that's never changing. Unfortunately,
there's two issues there. Oh, by the way, guess what? I'm allowed to say it now.
What?
I'm gonna be a grandfather again.
There you go.
How about that?
They can get a TV in their room. Jesus.
Exactly. So, and it's really funny. It's my youngest daughter, and her first child was due on July 13th, a little over a year ago. So he'll be 2 in July, but he was actually born on July 7th, which is my father's birthday.
Okay.
My oldest grandson, which is from my oldest daughter, he was born on July 13th.
Okay.
So he will be 4 this coming July. Okay. My daughter is due with her second child, the youngest daughter due for their second child, due on July 13th again. So her first due date was July 13th. This one's due July 13th. My guess is it would be strange, but if this one was born on July 7th as well, so she'd have twin birthday dates with two different kids.
Right.
Both born on my father's birthday. But that gets me into why I don't know that I'll ever be able to go to that if it's at number one, if it's at the same time, because it's his birthday time on the 7th, and depending on when the weekend is, that's when we have it.
Right. Understand.
So if you want to have I guess, well, what's the weather like out there in December?
We're gonna find out.
You say, so you all haven't done it there in December?
No, last time we did it there was Halloween weekend. It was actually on Halloween, now that I think about it. Like 4 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
3 years ago. So, but we'll see.
Ask you, is it like the same first weekend in December?
The date's up in the air, but I think so. We have a couple dates that we're gonna try and see what we can do.
So just do me a favor, find out what temperature's like.
It's not too hot.
That's not what I'm talking about. You know that. Don't tell me it's gonna be 80 and no humidity, no wind, no rain, and I get out there and it's 40 degrees. That'll be a problem.
Oh, it's Arizona. It's not gonna be that cold.
Well, I tell you what, and this is no joke. When I took sabbatical out there, and I'd go out there and play golf, and we actually did a tour director meeting out there as well. I think that was like one of the last times we did a tour director meeting, and it was at oh shit, I don't think he's playing that course this year. It was just north of Phoenix. I'll wake up at 2:00 in the morning with the name will hit me, but it was cold. It was really cold, and September wasn't. It was really mid-October, November, where in the morning you get up and it would be 40 degrees. And
Right,
now,
then
the 40 degrees isn't cold, but compared to being out there when it's 90, 100 degrees, 40 degrees it's pretty cold.
right.
And for me, if it's that cold, I'll just sit inside.
Yeah, he'll be fine. It'll get to 60 in an hour.
So as long as it's not Las Vegas cold, because that was pretty cold. I didn't like that either.
Las Vegas does get cold, but it's higher up though.
So anyway, so Tupac that's in the mountains.
No,
Don't lie.
it's south of Tucson.
Okay. I'll look at it. I'll look at it. Oh my goodness gracious! Well, Chris, let me tell you something, bud. I'm so thankful that we're partners here. I love doing this with you. I hope you and the family have a very Merry Christmas. We do have one more episode for the year. I think this is the latest. I think this is the latest we've ever closed out a year. But also for those that celebrate Hanukkah, have a happy Hanukkah. Last night, December 14th, was the first night, or tonight, or I think it starts on the 14th. Let's just put it that way. I don't know what today is, or whatever it is. But happy Hanukkah. I'm going to hell.
Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, don't forget Mother's Day.
Let's just throw them all out there right now, because
I know we're not good.
And just FYI, Tubac, Arizona is 61 degrees right now.
Wow. Okay. That's something to think about. You know, I'm thinking about it hard too.
I know you were. But that we'll cross that bridge when we get closer.
Well, we got 50 weeks to figure it out.
Yeah.
It'll be here before you know it.
My shoulder's going to be sore by the time that tournament comes,
All right, my friend. You have a very Merry Christmas. Tell Diana and the boys the same. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to everybody out there. Take care, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Have a good one.